and welcome to another video. This one's a Ford Zodiac 100 by Spot On Toys. And here she is. Purchased this one from a local retailer. He's got a drawer full of fixer-uppers just waiting for the tender loving care from the likes of me. I like the look of this one. The car always appealed to me. I never had the Zephyr, but I had the console of this model, which they called the low line. The previous models were slightly different in so much as the roofs were slightly higher. This one appealed to me because it looked as though it had had a rough life, and I thought a rescue was well overdue. It's got chipped paint, it's got buckled wheels. The tyres are rough, but they're not worth really replacing. The screens obviously had it. I just thought I'd show you all the kind of tiny little dinks and dents in the bodywork. It must have had a hell of a time being played with and been much loved in its day, I'm sure. I don't know if that's an original paint scheme, but I'm going to be going for a single colour anyway. I have a kind of particular notion of how I want this one to look. I've drilled the base here and I'm just popping it off. I'm told that a black base denotes an early series car, but I'm not entirely sure whether this has been previously molested or painted over. Looking at the overrun of pink paint on the top of the ceiling, if you like, there in the boot lid, it looks as though it possibly could have been. These are just a press-on fit. Just easing them off gently after this amount of time. I didn't want to split any of the bodywork in the last minute. The windscreen's riveted in, so I'm going to have to remove that by means of using the heated up aluminium rod. Regular viewers will have seen me do this before, but for the benefit of anyone who's watching for the first time, it's a simple enough principle. Got a little piece of aluminium rod here with some insulating tape on the bottom end of it to stop from burning my fingerprints off. I just build it up to a reasonable temperature. It hasn't got to be smouldering hot or cherry red or anything like that. We're only melting a little bit of plastic, not trying to break into a bank vault. And a couple of twists. Sunk through the plastic, couple of twists. Till you're through to the metal work, and then it just pops out, simple as that. And then we'll glue it, a new one in, probably in this instance, at the end of the job. Just switch your tap off, make sure the tip's cooled down on the rod that you're using. Next thing is removing the axles. I don't always do this, but these were both bent, so they were going to have to come off to be straightened out. So a little bit of attention with file, just to take the very top off they're kind of riveted on with the casting, with the Mazak casting, and I'm just gently removing the very top bit of the casting, so I can pop them off with a screwdriver. Not too bad, not the most difficult of tasks, and I'll press fit them back into place and a bit of super glue at the end of the build. I'm condemned to outside again with my Dremel and my wheel for cleaning up the base, because, as I've stated previously, I've gotten told off by the boss lady. So I'm condemned to the garden. Just cleaning up the frame here now. It's been in the caustic soda. All the black paint's gone. I'm just cleaning off the residue from the caustic soda that I've dipped them into and tidying the base up. I will be over painting it black again anyway. I won't be detailing this particular one. So I just want to make sure there's no little lumps and bumps left over, and the casting's nice and smooth. Take the paint. And here they are after everything's been polished up and cleaned. I did try to clean up the screen, but the crack in the back was bothering me, so subsequently I ordered a new one. So later on, when I put it back together, you'll see it's a new screen that I've put in. Well, that's the spot on Zodiac's sum of its parts. I've primed it grey, and I'm just putting on a base coat of white in order to lighten it slightly for my eventual finishing colour. And there we go. On goes the pink. Can't give you a part number or anything for the pink because it's just one of the homebrew ones that I've done. I've just mixed up a satisfactory looking one and went with that. It's not supposed to be the spot on original. The notion I had with this car all the while when I was doing it was that, like in the late 50s, there were a couple of glamour ladies in the world of movies. Apart from the obvious of Marilyn Monroe, we had the British Marilyn Monroe, which was Diana Dawes. She had a great rival called Jane Mansfield. Jane Mansfield's thing was always to have pink everything. So I thought, well, Ms. Dawes over here, she would probably want a pink Zephyr, which is quite a swish car back in its time. So, if you wish to give the colour a name, it's Diana Dawes Pink. Just giving her a quick flash off with the heat gun now. Prior to a finishing coat, and then a couple of coats of lacquer. Just making sure it's thoroughly dry now. And here we go. I'm in with the chrome paint, doing the detailing. You can see at this point that I've painted the flash on the side chrome. But in the end, I'm not very happy with this, and even looking at it, I couldn't make myself satisfied with it. So I decided to use the high risk strategy of scraping all the paint off right the way down to the bare Mazak casting, which I think overall, despite being risky business, does give a more satisfying finish, as you'll probably see when it's on the turntable at the end. I'm using my usual brand of Stuart Semple mirror finish paint here, which I've gotten used to. And I'm pretty happy with the look of it. I've been using it for a little over 12 months now, and I can't say that I've noticed any of the chrome paint effect or mirror paint effect fading, so it seems to have reasonable longevity. But soon if I notice any difference in that, obviously keep you informed. It's a satisfying part of the build doing this, but always a little bit long-winded. And here we go, before a blink of an eye, we're putting on the number plates. As ever, I've made some custom number plates for this one, and I've chosen to go with 35, 24, 35 DD, which is Diana Dawes' vital statistics at the height of her fame. A little bit of struggle here, getting the two halves separated of the sticker. And my usual trick of using an old airbrush needle, just catching a little bit of the adhesive and then dropping it into place. Two completely different size number plates on this car, which gave me a lot of joy and happiness when I was printing out the number plates. There we go. Squarely on. Obviously unhappy with this, giving it a refit. Ah, lovely. You can't see it particularly well on this, but I've put the new screen in, and what I've used is some of my new favourite thing called glossy accents to stick the screen back in place. I dropped the screen in and then I put the glossy accents over the top of the rivet and let it cure, and it's in there well, it won't shift, but should I ever need to take it back out again, it won't be a huge problem. Unlike when I've super glued them in the past, when the screen is likely to rupture when you try and disturb it. Just popping the tyres back on now. They weren't in too bad a condition. I didn't have any spares the right size, so I chose to carry on with these. I may replace them down the line, I may not. It's not essential by any manner of means. Just in case you're pushing the seats back onto the little posts again now. If you do one of these, be careful with the back seat. If you don't push it down far enough, the parcel shelf is too high at the back and you can see straight into it when you fit the windscreen. And just make sure that one slides right the way down to the bottom of the posts. There we go, just pop it back on the pillars. Preferably with the car facing the right way. Otherwise I have to drive everywhere in reverse and that would be very inconvenient. Just a drop of super glue on the post. Drop the rivets into place. Happy enough with that. And this here's all complete. Fitted a new windscreen on the interior. Nice coat of paint. Detailed the grille. Detailed the headlights. Indicators and stoplights. I achieved this side moulding flash by scratching off through to the original Mazak casting because I just couldn't get a satisfactory finish on it with just the paintbrush alone. I think she's looking pretty respectable. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.